official. Not that I'm aware of, so I think we'll be okay.
Okay. You will call the meeting to order. First of all, I need the adoption of the planning advisory committee. Get a motion for seconder, please. Linda, Mark, all in favor? Thank you. There any pecuniary interest in general nature thereof? Being none, okay. We need adoption of the planning advisory committee meeting, the motion and the seconder. Dan and Mark, all in favor? Thank you. Thank you. We have before us at the appointment of the severance report. It's B-64-25. It's a right of way to Thompson property. It's at 245 Hudson Point Road, concession 1, part lot 30, in the geographic township of Elizabethtown. It's to the purpose of the application to sever a 0.007 hectare right of way to be used for access to a proposed garage on the abutting property, and is to retain 0.47 hectare lot occupied by 2 existing residential dwellings and several accessory structures. If the application for the right of way is approved, the size, shape, and ownership of the retained parcel will not be changed. The provincial planning statement that the subject property are considered rural lands by the PPS. The county official plan, the severed rural lands is constraints none, and retained rural lands constraints are none. The township official plan of 218, the severed residential constraints is none, and the retained residential constraints is none. The township zoning bylaw 1321 as amended, the severed lands limited service residential and retained lands are limited service residential. Jim, would you like to speak on the official plan and the provincial law statement, please?
Yes, thank you very much, Chair, members of the committee. As the chair mentioned, this is a severance for a right of way of 0.07 hectares and retainment of the name of the lot in a right of way. There's no exchange of ownership. There's just right of way allowed over a certain portion of the property. As mentioned by the chair, the PPS, these are considered rural lands and limited residential uses are permitted on rural lands. County official plan is designated rural lands as well. There is some mineral aggregate in the area. However, given that the development is existing, including the severed and retained lands, there's no consequence regarding the mineral aggregate resource designation. And staff have reviewed the policies of the county official plan and are of the opinion that the proposal conforms with the county official plan. The township official plan lands are designated residential, and the residential designation in this is the area along the St. Lawrence River. It reflects the mostly existing development along the St. Lawrence River. And there is a policy in our official plan regarding the creation or existing extension of private roads. In this case, the private road is existing, and the proposed right-of-way will allow access to a proposed new garage. Proposed right-of-way will not result in the creation or extension of a private road. Staff have reviewed the policies of our official plan and are of the opinion that the proposed severance is in conformity with our official plan as well. The property is zone limited service residential. Both the severed and retained parcels are zoned such. The 2 properties affected by the proposed right of way are both occupied by residential dwellings as permitted in the LSR zone, and the proposed right of way can be considered to conform with the requirements of the LSR zone and zoning bylaw 1321. In terms of circulation application, I received a verbal comment from our chief building official yesterday, and there are no concerns from the chief building official's perspective, including septic inspection and her role as a septic inspector. And we received an email comment from our fire chief dated September 9th, 2025, and no concerns there either. So we're recommending that the application can be approved subject to the following conditions. 1, that a copy of the deposited survey be submitted to the township. 2, that the balance of any taxes, including penalties and interest, if any, be paid to the municipality. And 3, that all conditions be fulfilled by the applicant at their expense. And just before I turn it back to the chair, I'd like to refer you to page 17 of 22. It's if you haven't seen it, it's just a picture of the sketch, which shows retained in blue, the severed, which is the right of way, in yellow, and the lands to benefit from the severance, the adjoining lot, is in pink. So I'll now turn it back to the chair and answer any questions that you may have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Thanks, Jim. Are there any questions or anything on this? That's Mark.
Yeah, the only comment I had was the application talks about doing this to support a proposed garage. So that map in the pink, when you open it and actually read it, there's also a proposed dwelling in there. So at the top, there's proposed accessory building, soon after the garage.
They're all proposed.
Yeah, so there's lots of things.
I think there is a dwelling and they're proposing a new one, my understanding.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, and Sarah's been telling me, Sarah's just informed me that that permit has been issued for the dwelling.
Okay, so that's what I guess that's fine. I kind of answered it, that it's really about more than proposed garage.
Right. Now, if you look at this sketch I referred you to page 17, the dwelling is going to be accessed by the road that continues on down by the garage. So you'll see where the road continues on down. So that's where the access to the dwelling is going to be. The access to the garage is going to be just by this right of way that I'm proposing.
And I assume because there's a proposed drilled well towards the bottom of the diagram, that there's also allowance for a septic system. Given it's not a lot of dirt down there.
Yeah.
That's one of the fully covered.
Yes, yeah, no, it is usually on the waterfront. There's a lot going on when you start looking at it closely.
Yeah, I would assume that we, well, Mark said there, I just, when we're looking at the diagram, just means there's a right of way that's traveled, I call it travel right of way that gets into those buildings, and that's where that driveway is gonna be. I'm assuming that's what.
That's correct, yeah, it's, there's a right of way there, and it's on the lands of the blue, retained lands, and that's gonna stay in their ownership, but they're giving their neighbor a right of way over it to get into the garage.
Going on site.
That's right. Yeah, this will result in the right of way being registered permanently on title in favor of the pink lands.
It's the first one of these we've ever had.
Yeah.
Well, that's why. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I like the idea of getting the proposal for the survey and that, or the, you know, the deed, because I know experience wise, some people don't have that. And then next time, you know, they're questionable.
Yeah, very much so, especially when land, and it happens a lot in the waterfront when they switch hands. Go back and forth, and then people start looking at the title they have. Some of them don't have right of way, some of them do. Then the documents, if they don't.
For sure. Okay, okay, Mark, then?
Yeah, just one last question
Yeah, no
about
problem.
that particular diagram. There's two circles that seem to overlap. They relate to,
I'm not sure what they relate to, but they don't have my good reading glasses on either.
There's nothing written on the glasses or on the
yeah,
diagram.
you can see the reference.
Yeah.
Just curious.
They look like they're in the center of each of those wells.
Yeah. It's just one. So the septic couldn't be within bounds of that.
That makes sense as well.
Proposed drill well.
Because oftentimes you see that sort of thing if there's MDS discussion, but that's a non-issue down here, so.
Yeah, Sarah's looked at it with her eyes, and she's agreed with Dan. She has to be around the well.
Yeah.
I can't even read that it says proposed well, but yeah, I didn't bring my phone. I usually use my phone for a magnifying glass, but
That's a good one for that one.
why they put those circles around there, I'm not sure.
probably for, distance to, say, a septic.
Could be.
Would that be the septic that's, say, north of that on, just above the proposed driveway?
Yeah, that's where they're proposing to set it, yeah, so. On the side.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's kind of in the write-up, it said existing residence, which is in blue, right, and then you look in the right. It goes, so it kind of flows here again. A little bit, but hey. We have a motion and forward and seconder to Mark, Linda, all in favor? Thank you. Okay. Thanks, Jim.
Well, thank you.
Here we have, there's two land division decisions, one being 7.1 is B 42-25, concession 5 part lot 21, which is the McCann property, which is a new lot. And the next one is B 52-25, concession 2 part lot 5, in the townships of Kitley, the Gillespie property, which is a new lot. Any questions on those? Okay, if not, I have a motion that we received and filed. Mark and Linda, thank you. Is there any other business?
Well,
We'll look towards Jim.
actually, I may just introduce something, and I think Mark might be familiar with this, just so committee knows. I sent correspondence to council a couple of times now. The county is having their public meeting on the new agricultural land use designation. It's going to change throughout the county a fair bit, and that is November 5th. That's occurring, a public meeting that the county is having for their official plan amendment. Once that document gets approved by the county and through the province, then when we update our official plans, the agriculture designation will have to follow the county designation. So most of the municipalities, including ours, have looked at this a number of times. And in credit to the county, they did notify all ratepayers who were proposed to be changed in terms of the agriculture designation. So I just wanted to let committee know that this is the public meeting is coming on November 5th. It's open to the public and anybody can attend. And again, I've asked a couple of pieces of correspondence on that on the council. I'm not sure if they've seen them yet, and that's all I have.
And those maps are, their maps are still very difficult to read. Most of their maps don't have roads on, which will help people identify their property. There are still many properties there that are being pushed into ag that really are not prime ag. That's fortunate. People look at it 2 years now to say, no, it's not. Anytime anybody I've talked to that, to the meetings, didn't like the redesignation, and they got their land left as rural. But not everybody's paying attention. Of course, there are implications if you don't speak now. Once it moves from rural to ag, you're now limited in whatever you want to do. Lots of farm families out there who have the expectation that they can split farms up for their kids.
Those maps online,
Yeah,
through the county.
but again, they're not the best at mapping and they don't show the road. I've seen how many versions of these maps.
Yeah, there's been quite a few versions over the last 2 years.
That was one of the questions that I was going to ask this here, is that how would we as a municipality and as a committee, our official plan, and so how do we get those maps, or just an inquiry and how so we're looking at something.
Yeah, so the maps, you can look at the maps now, and they've been out there several times, and they've been circulated to all municipalities in the county. And each property owner has been notified in writing, which is, as I said, that's very unusual in the planning exercise. So they have the opportunity, they've had the opportunity to contact the county and question them about their lands. Now, if it gets approved, let's say it gets approved next year, then when we update our official plan, we're gonna have to go through a similar process. And our official plan is due to be updated in 2028. roughly 2 years. We'll have to go through a similar process of notifying our ratepayers, going through the public process. And agriculture, well, things are gonna be kind of cast in stone at that point for agriculture. Because we're gonna have to follow the county.
You know, I believe I can speak on this. I think Linda and I were on the official plan on the committee.
The first time I went.
First time with.
Last time I went through.
Yeah, so we were very involved and actually
Yeah.
came to the public meeting and.
Yeah.
Answered it.
Yeah, so I think if we follow our normal process, then council will hold a public meeting, then it'll go to planning advisory and then it'll go back.
But
to
in
council.
the meantime, if somebody just, devil's advocate here, like what Mark says, somebody applies for something. Then we'll have to come through you, through the county, and then we'll get the map so it's updated, because if we go look now. At the official plan.
Yeah.
That we have.
Yeah.
At home,
Yes,
or somebody asks a question,
ours is gonna stay the same until until we do our new official plan. So what we're gonna have in the interim is we're gonna have to look at the new county official plan.
that's what I mean,
And then they're gonna have to discuss it with the county.
yes.
And in my opinion, because the county has changed and ours, we couldn't say that it conforms to provincial policy. Let's say somebody owned a piece of rural property in our area that's rural, but it's agriculture in the county official plan. I don't think we could say that it conforms to provincial policy or the county official plan, severance in our rural area. So once that's changed at the county level, it for most, it's pretty much considered changed at our level as well. Even though it's gonna take a couple of years for our maps to catch up.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to be, we have to be aware
Yeah.
of that, and someone's inquiring in the public.
Yeah, well, that's right. Yeah, we will do that. The county, of course, is consent granting authority, so they're not gonna miss it, sure.
And I think, for example, Henry's got land.
Yeah.
And there's land going both ways, so there's land moved from rural to ag, and then there is properties in the township moved from ag to rural. So it's not all one way, and I think Elizabethtown-Kitley got off better than most of the others.
Not too bad. I think it's about a plus 3,000 acres, Mark, don't quote me on that. So an increase of I think it was 3,000. We had 7,000 and we've got close to 10, I think.
Okay.
New ag.
Right.
But still, some of the properties, because they're trying to get larger parcels for mapping. And unfortunately, in doing so, the reality of land in township is that, yeah, you may have 100 acres, but rock, swamp, oh yeah, there's a bit of good dirt. So they tried to get minimum 250 acre parcels, but in doing so, they're capturing ground that is not fit. It's not even fit to any, let alone be called prime ag. So it's not a perfect system by any stretch.
I don't mean to prolong the discussion, but I'm just gonna throw my opinion out there on what it is. I don't think they ever should have gone to the Lear, in my view. They should have stuck with class 1, 2, and 3 farmland, prime agriculture. That's been the cornerstone for ages.
Yep.
I think they should have stuck with class 1, 2, and 3. And stayed with that. They went with this Lear. It's a different evaluation tool. And for the life of me, I really think they should have stuck with class 1, 2, or 3. That's been tried and true. And then I think everybody's seen the farmland that gets improved over the years by, there's more farmland made almost every day. And then as the plans are updated, then if that's class 1, 2, or 3, and then it falls into 1, 2, or 3. That's just my opinion, and it's way too late in the game.
No, that's good.
I mean, regardless, the Federation, we've had a number of well-attended public meetings, so this is the assignment for everybody. We're having a public meeting on this. Come and see if your land's affected. Big map so they can see. But not everybody bothers to pay attention. Unfortunately, the problem will eventually come when they go to get a severance, and then it hits. You guys, or it's here, and they're seeking a severance on ag land.
Yes.
And they're not happy.
Thanks a lot, Jim, because it's educational for our committee. Because eventually, as soon as it gets approved, it's going to have effect, and I can't speak for everybody here, but I'm fairly confident the people that on this committee, public know we're on the committee and what we do. So I'm sure there will be an approach to.
Mhm.
Thank
Yeah.
you very much. for
Yeah,
that
yeah, no
information.
problem.
So, okay, if there's no other business, then, our next meeting is, Thursday, November 20th. And, at 4 o'clock. And just before we close, thank you for changing this meeting.
Got much in the queue?
No, so could I have a motion to adjourn the meeting and seconder? Thank you. And the meeting
Yeah, thanks.
closed.
Thank you, Chair, members of committee. What do we have in the queue for planning advisory?